Hi, and welcome back to Perfectly Imperfect with CJ. I hope you guys had a good week. My week was okay. Um, but I just want to let you know, I let myself know most days you're doing a good job. Um, but today I really want to focus on the reality of things. What it's really like to raise a child with a kid with autism. Um, in my opinion, when people think about autism, um, including myself. You think about it in pieces, and let me explain. I feel like it's maybe you see a kid that's quiet and kind of to themselves, or they're a little quirky, or a little socially awkward, or um, you see them doing peculiar things like lining up stuff. Um, or maybe you don't see really anything at all. Um, and especially at the really early stages, like CJ is 3. Um, you know he's on the higher functioning end of autism. Um, he's ASD 2 right now, which if you're not familiar, there are different levels of autism. Um, I mean, like most know, there's a spectrum. Um, some are more severe than others. Um, but my son, he's more so on the higher function. And like if you saw him, um, you probably wouldn't know that he has autism unless he did something like out of the ordinary. Unless you saw him have a meltdown, or unless you notice that he doesn't speak much because he's speech delayed. Um, yeah, you probably wouldn't know right off the bat. Um, because of this fact though, especially since my son is not as severe, I would say that people don't see the constant adjusting, um planning or emotional energy spent like in a day. um my day is planned around him, really. um Let me give you some examples. God is so funny. CJ's been on the schedule since he was a baby. um I thought I was doing it for me, really. Structure is everything, for especially for little kids and for uh just people in general. I think people often thrive on structure most of the time. But little did I know that my baby boy would need routine more than ever. Um, anything outside of his normal routine can throw a whole day off. Like maybe he's supposed to take a nap, at a certain time, and maybe we miss nap time, and the whole day is now kind of like messed up because he's off kilter. He's used to doing things at a certain time. Um, Even now, like he might be getting ready for bed or something like that, and maybe I let him. It's a Friday night, he can stay up and watch TV a little bit longer. This little boy will literally come and grab my hands and say night night, and it's 7:30 or 7:15. He don't care, that I said that he could stay up later. That's the time that he goes to bed. And it's not like this boy has a clock. Like he can't tell time. But he will come and grab me and tell me night night, like it's time to go to bed. Mom, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm sleepy and I'm ready to go to bed. Um, or I remember, um, what was it? I took him to school and I think there was a sub for the para, and the para pro normally comes to the door to get him because he's a car rider. And CJ did not recognize her, and he would not go. He's like, "Mom, I don't know who this is." Like he would not go. He started putting his hands over his ears. I'm like, "Buddy, like it's okay." I was trying to reassure him that he could go, but he would not go until he saw his teacher. And I mean, I guess in the moment I would say it was a hard moment, for both of us. But at the same time, I was like, maybe that's a good thing, like stranger danger, right, buddy? Um, but you'd be surprised at how much routine has to be like consistent, even in the food that they eat. Like, oh my gosh, I could tell you so many stories. Um, he's already a picky eater. If you didn't know, a lot of autistic kids are picky eaters for a plethora of reasons. Sensory things, things that look different, different tastes. It's out of routine. Um, so for example, CJ loves chicken nuggets and French fries. And one day, I think I brought a different brand of chicken nuggets. He refused to eat them. He knew they were different, and he refused to eat them. And it was like a whole thing. He cried, had a meltdown. Um, just the other day, I got fried rice. He loves eating fried rice, Chinese food. He'll kill it. So I got hibachi. I'm thinking, okay, it's fried rice, some chicken in there. I give him fried rice in the bowl. He literally pushes the bowl away and says no. I'm like, buddy, it's rice. You like fried rice, eat it. He's like, no. And it's like, buddy, come on, eat the chicken, eat the rice. And then he starts crying, and he starts going like this and putting his hands over his ears. And I'm like, buddy, come on, eat the chicken. And then I even try to do some of the ABA strategies. And I say, well, if you eat your chicken, then you can have your cookies, and that didn't work. We were really at a stalemate, and it became really, really frustrating for me and him. I think at one point I got really frustrated, and I wouldn't say I lost my temper, but I was really, 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 really frustrated. And it was super emotional, and we were both upset. And to be honest, like I felt bad after because normally I don't get upset in those types of moments. I try to pick my battles. But for whatever reason that day, I chose to fight that battle and I lost. And I felt bad because for me, like I know he eats or he eats enough. He eats at school, maybe because the other kids are eating and he eats. I pack him, fruits that he likes to eat, in his lunch bag and stuff like that. Um, so I know he's eating. So if he doesn't eat at home, it's normally not a big deal. But like, it's so frustrating, like I just want him to be able to try different things, and I know he'll like it, but like he's so rigid, at times. Like, but anything that's new that I think he might like, a Rice Krispie treat, ice cream, things that I know he'll like, but he refuses to try. Like, it could be frustrating, it could be deflating, and most of the time, though, I remember that like it's really deeper than defiance. Some kids don't eat because they just defiantly just don't want to, but it's so much deeper for CJ. Like, it's out of routine, it's change. Um, so adjusting and having to find a new way to like introduce him to like different things um can be challenging. It can be really challenging and really frustrating, and then there's people like, on the outside, um people who don't understand, but they have like their opinions about it. Or I get the looks and the stares sometimes, like today in the restaurant. CJ didn't want to eat his chicken fingers because they're really not the kind that he's used to eating. And sometimes he's flexible and sometimes he's not. And today he wasn't. And I was trying to get him to eat the chicken because he ate all his fries, and then he had a meltdown in the middle of the restaurant. And all I could think was, man, like, I wonder what these people are thinking really in this moment, because it was not a quiet cry. He was crying for real, real tears. You would have thought that we did something to that boy. Um, I could just feel the people like staring at me, like in the restaurant. Know how you can just feel when people are looking at you? Like, um, it hits a little different. Like, when I tell people that CJ has autism and they say I'm sorry. Like, sorry for what? I'm not sorry. Like, I feel like my son can do whatever he wants to do and be whoever he wants to be. But because of negative stigmas and different things surrounding kids with disabilities or any kind of something like that, it feels like a detriment. And I almost take like offense to it. Like, why are you saying sorry? I'm like, he's gonna be all right. Maybe people say it because they don't know what else to say. Um, I don't know. It's there's an emotional weight, really. Um, Always advocating for him, always explaining, behavior, or trying to help people understand. Man, um, it gets hard. It gets hard, and I know people don't want to talk about it, but there is also a grief that comes with like raising a kid with any kind of disability. you have this picture in your mind or this dream you have like for your child. Like, oh, CJ has a friend, um, and she's light years beyond him speech wise. I mean, cognitively, they're probably right there together, but speech wise, she's like light years ahead. And I hear her, having conversations with her mom, asking the questions, the why. Why is this? Why is that? Telling her stories from school, what they did, what she got to do. I want those moments. Not to say that he won't ever have those moments because I know those moments are coming. But it's hard. I see people his age, and they're doing certain things and I wish CJ was right there with him cuz he's so smart. I wish I could have those back and forth conversations. I wish I could have certain moments. I wish I could have certain moments with my son. And I know they're coming. They're coming. He's made so much progress already. I was able to get him in school. Um, and he goes to ABA 2 days a week, and he's grown leaps and bounds. He's crushing it. So I know my time, his time is coming. It's coming. So until then, I gotta be a little patient. Be a little patient and go at his pace. And I can sit and laugh at the moments where we have a back and forth conversation saying yes and no. Like, when was it? A few weeks ago, a part of his routine is taking his one a day gummy. It's a little gummy bear. So I go to give CJ his gummy, and he tells me no. And I say, yes. And he says, no. And I say, yes, like you're taking this gummy. And he says, no. And then I say, yes, CJ, like you're taking this gummy, take the gummy. And so he finally takes the gummy. But that little communication is the joy I live for those moments. He's speech delayed, but he knows so much. And to be honest, all I can think is like, I wonder what he's thinking. Like, I wonder what's going on like up here. Like, if he hears like everything that's going on around him, and he just can't say anything about it because he doesn't have the words yet, or his brain can't put them together yet. But he's just waiting to tell me everything. Ooh, can't wait for that. There's a lot of moments of joy as much as there is bad. There are moments I connect with CJ that don't need words. CJ is not a hugger. If you get a hug from CJ, consider yourself special. Um, most that man will give you is a fist bump or maybe a high five. Or now he's saying hi. You know, his voice is like hi, waving. That's big. Remember, he wouldn't say anything. Um, but I get the hugs. He comes to me when he needs that type of physical regulation. He leans on me when he's scared or is apprehensive or trying something new. Those connections don't need words. Um, and even in saying that, like those are small victories, right? That feels so small, probably to other people. Like being able to say hi and bye and see you later or thank you or please or help. Like those things are so huge. They're huge to me. And I see the growth. I see the growth every day in CJ. I see the growth, and that's what makes me find my strength and my patience. The kind I didn't know that I had. I have it because of him. I'm walking this journey with him at his pace. And no, everything might not be happening when I want it to, but doesn't mean it's not going to. All in timing when it's supposed to happen. And I'm here for it. I'm right here for it. Here for him. I just want to let y'all know, like, two things could be true, at the same time. Like, I can love CJ with all my heart and still feel overwhelmed being his mom. You can love your kid with all of your heart and still feel that way. And this is where I put my therapist hat on. So, feeling overwhelmed, angry, frustrated, sad, happy, whatever emotions you have, don't make you a bad mom. Like, I feel like even me sharing the little bit I did in the beginning, like, and and knowing that my child has autism or special needs or whatever you want to call it, there's somebody out there, because I feel the way that I feel, would make it seem like I'm a bad mom for feeling that way. Like, oh, you should love your child, and you should blah blah blah, or you should, and you should, and you should, and you should, and you should. You don't get to tell me how I feel or how I should feel. You don't know. You're not in my shoes on a day to day basis. You get to see snippets. You're not in the day to day. So, like, I want to let you know, like, if, whatever emotions that you're feeling, like, they don't make you a bad mom or a bad parent. They make you human. That's it.